Hi guys, I'm Shmi and today we're in Wales for the start of the third tour that I'm going to be driving to celebrate the launch of new Esso Synergy fuels. Now this tour is themed, the best driving roads live here. We're in Wales and there are plenty of pretty epic roads we're going to be checking out on our way around, and we'll be driving in this, the Bentley Continental GT V8S, the new facelifted car with the 521 brake horsepower 4.0 litre V8. So this is set to be pretty awesome. We're going to be seeking out some amazing scenery, some beautiful, beautiful driving roads and meandering up through Wales. So today, driving around the south of the country. Tomorrow we'll be continuing up from Aberystwyth through the Evo Triangle, and then we'll get up to the Bentley factory in the west of England in Crewe. So we'll take a look around the Bentley factory. That's why we're driving the Bentley. It fits the tour perfectly. So we'll get up there, and then after that we're going to be heading down to McLaren Manchester, where my McLaren 675 LT has been shipped up to host a mini meeting up there. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with a lot of you guys if you've been following the social media pages when we get up there. So today's plan, we'll get the car filled up here at the Esso station, and then we're going to get on the road, heading across over towards the western side of Wales. We'll end up at Aberystwyth tonight. We've just crossed the Severn Valley Bridge, heading over into Wales from Bristol. So I'm looking forward to everything we've got in store. Driving in the new Bentley, the new car, slightly stiffer suspension, better setup, more geared towards a sporty drive. So I'm looking forward to this one a lot. And I think we're going to have a little bit of fun. So let's get on the road. We're getting underway, just heading a little bit on the M4 motorway before we veer off and try and find some fun roads. We've plotted out a route that's going to take us around a whole series of towns whose names I'm not even going to begin to pronounce because my Welsh is not exactly the best. Maybe I'll have a go as we get through. But tomorrow's piece is going to be all about the car. So tomorrow we'll be reviewing the car in a little bit more detail. Today is all about the roads because we've got some pretty special places lined up that we've plotted out and planned where we're going to be going on this tour. Of course, before this we had two other tours. Well, it all got underway back in London with the launch of the new fuels when I even got to interview Jensen Button. So that was a really cool day. And then we had Tour 1. James Bond lived here where we were driving the Aston Martin V12 Vantage S around Scotland. We had Tour 2 where we were driving my Porsche Cayman GT4 on the Speed Lives Here tour to Anglesey and around the Isle of Man, and this is the third one in the Bentley. So this has been a pretty fantastic set of tours and I'm very excited already for where we're going to be heading on this one. So we've got a little bit of motorway ahead of us, then we're going to head off and find some fun stuff. Entering into the Brecon Beacons National Park. So this is home to some pretty awesome scenery. We've got a little bit of cloud cover come over now, but hopefully it's not going to be too bad on us and we'll be able to see some pretty special stuff today and find some very nice roads as we make our way through. This is why we've come to this area then. The roads and the scenery is just beautiful. We're kind of meandering this gentle A road, cruising back and forwards, and that's why this is a brilliant car for it. At the moment, just in the full sort of natural, normal modes, just enjoying the moment, enjoying the view. I've never been here before in my life, driving through the Brecon Beacons, but it's a certainly pretty place to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing as we get a little bit further through and the roads get a little bit twistier as well. We are in Wales, so we could have expected it was going to get a little bit wet, and we're now driving on some wet and greasy roads in a white car. So I think by the time we get to the end of the tour, the Bentley here is going to be a little bit dirty. You can start to see it all sort of building up around the sides at the moment. We'll probably give it back in a different shade of the grey spectrum to the shade. It's starting life. I am going to do a full video about the new car tomorrow, of course, in a little bit more detail, but with the facelift you have this new sort of look to the front grille down below, slightly increased engine, stiffer suspension setup. So it really is a pretty good car to be driving, especially for this kind of tour we are on today. But we're going to pop into the inn we've just passed by here and grab a bite to eat for some lunch. I guess reflect on the morning so far. I've taken some pretty cool photos as well while we've been driving. back in the Bentley, and one thing I wanted to show you is kind of how we plot out these routes. So we basically do a lot of Google Maps planning before we get on a road trip like this. So you can see today we started off in Bristol and we're now up here in the Brecon Beacons, but we plan out every day in so much detail to make sure we pick out some of the best roads. And we're going up to Aberystwyth on the west coast there of Wales, all the way around the end. We're not even halfway through today yet, actually, so we do need to get a move on. But it lets you, planning the routes like this, you can completely pick all the right roads and where we're going to go. And where are we right now? Senny Bridge, that's where we stopped for lunch. We'll be heading off back down through the Brecon Beacons and then back round and back up through it before we head off. So this is the route for today, a little bit of a motorway stretch there before we head back up and round towards our final destination of the day. A hotel not too far from Aberystwyth. I don't have the full addresses set in here because that would be a little bit too much detail. But it works pretty well when you take some planning and get these routes down. So that's how we do that. Now let's start up the Bentley. Got the starter button here. The V8S comes into life. It's pretty windy up here, but what a view! Check this out. You can see so far. Actually kind of crazy with the wind that the clouds are moving across like ridiculously fast as well. Hope you can just about hear me. I'm going to try and get a shot of the car from the outside so you can hear it. Pops and crackles from the Bentley. Really, really cool. But yeah, you can probably tell right now it's really, really windy. It's been some pretty awesome roads, but unfortunately, of course, it is December, and that means that it's not even 4 o'clock and it's already starting to get dark. So to make sure that we're not driving too late into the evening today, we're cutting a little bit of the route off just so we can go slightly more directly towards Aberystwyth. And that will get us into the hotel tonight. But this car, the pops and crackles are just awesome. So when I test drove the Bentley Continental GT3R, which is like the hardcore limited edition version of this car recently, the sound from the exhaust was amazing. I didn't realise how much the V8S would do that. I'll talk more about the car tomorrow itself and the interior and that kind of side of things. But from a sheer sort of driving noise point of view, it's brilliant. The gearing is set so that even on the roads here where there's sort of 40 miles per hour for the good roads, you're just going between second or third. Well, you can keep it in third happily, or even fourth probably with the torque this car has. But second gear, you're getting loads of pops and crackles and overruns under 40, which is really awesome. That's quite a lot of fun. So just sort of making the tight twisty roads slightly entertaining, and the car's obviously quite stiff as well. So it's, for the weight and for what you expect, actually drives those really small roads pretty well. But we're going to try and find one more bit of fun road now before we sort of turn off around in the direction of our hotel tonight. We've arrived at our first port of call then, tonight's stop, which is completely in pitch dark, so I'm not going to try and show you. It's pretty windy here as well, but there is supposedly a spectacular view out here over a lake at the hotel we're staying at, which is a nice country house here near Aberystwyth. The Bentley has done us very well, and there's an exceptionally strong gust of wind right now, so I'm just shielding the camera away behind it. I'm finding it remarkable, the ride quality of this car. It's stiff when you need it to be, sporty on the nice twisty roads, but it's also so soft and subtle. and it just sort of rides up any bump everywhere, which is working really quite well for us. So very, very happy driving the V8S for this tour. Tomorrow we're going to be heading off with the car to the legendary roads around Bala that make up the Evo Triangle. So Evo Magazine do all their road tests out there on the Evo Triangle. It's a spectacular road that I've never driven. So even when we went up a couple of weeks ago in the GT4 to Anglesey, we didn't actually stop off the way, unfortunately, because we ran out of time. Another gust of wind I'm just avoiding from. But that road is one I'm very, very, very much looking forward to driving. You can see we're kind of picking up quite a lot of dirt now. Actually, looking at the wheels, they're changing colour fast. So it's going to be quite funny to see how this car ends up looking when we're finished with it. Then we'll get it a good clean before saying farewell. But it's not done us badly at all today. Loving the sounds it makes, the comfort and luxury, just cruising on the lovely, lovely roads. Some of the best driving roads out there. With all this luxury as well, which I'm going to show you in a bit more detail, but the quilted diamond stitching, all sorts of options, and there's just such a nice fit and finish to the Bentley. It's a wonderful, wonderful car. So, I think pretty much going to wrap up there for today. It has been a great day. I'm very, very much looking forward to getting up to Manchester. I've heard that the 675 LT has arrived up there now, so it's just going to be cleaned up and prepared, going to go into the showroom before we get up there. Tomorrow we've got more driving around Wales, then we'll be at Crewe at the Bentley factory before we get to McLaren Manchester to have our sort of final end of these tours there. But today, all possible thanks to our celebration of the launch of the new Esso Synergy Fuels. A lot of fun driving. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for tomorrow's adventures and a little bit more by way of an in-depth look at this car that we're driving. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Cheers! But this is where it all gets started. We're kicking off with the first tour, and it's themed 007. And we're going to be driving in this car, my new Porsche Cayman GT4. As part of McLaren have introduced the Spider version, the 675 LT Spider.